when I actually found that, just before I found out that I had psoriasis, I think it must have been a day or two. I was just washing my hair. I just dyed it. I think it was red or like plum or something. A few days later, I started getting little spots, like red spots on my skin, especially on my torso. So at first I didn't think anything of it, but as time progressed, it started it started expanding and flaring up. So I went to my GP just to find out what this was, and they told me that it was eczema. So they gave me some creams, but after a few weeks, I went to St. George's. Mum wasn't having it. She wanted to know a little bit more about it because these red marks on my skin, before knowing it was psoriasis, we thought maybe it was bed bugs because they looked like they were bed bugs rather than eczema. Eczema, from what I've seen on other people anyway, not doing my research then, it looks dry and it looks like skin that's not moisturized in most cases and irritable. But in my case, mine was red dots that had flared up, just starting off like small little, what would look like bed bugs. At St. George's, then they told me when they examined, they took some samples of my skin and of my scalp, and they examined that, and then they came back to me and told me that I had psoriasis. But if I hadn't gone to St. George's, I don't know if the GP would have later on known if it was psoriasis, or I'd still be thinking it's eczema. No matter how much research I do, it's not like I'll actually thoroughly understand it. So the way I felt was sad when they said it can never go away. They can't actually fix me. I have to live with it and just try and keep it down with medication. It's sad. I've had people who say, "Oh, I know what you have. So and so had it. You should try this and that." And I'm like, "Was it psoriasis?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know, but it looks like it." And then I start thinking, you've got a number of skin problems, which I've had to find out because of my skin problem, which I didn't know apart from the eczema, as I said earlier on. It can feel a little bit degrading. It is a bit annoying. I don't mind people sharing, especially people who are closer to home. I don't mind particularly, but it becomes a little bit of a nuisance when it's other people who are far away from home who just see and try and give you a diagnosis because they have or they know without not really knowing what you actually have. It's quite annoying. I don't like it. If I have any children, and when I do, um, I suspect maybe it might also be an hereditary thing that I have this. It has to come from somewhere or assisted by something. So I think if they were to actually have my genes, I would probably tell them to love themselves. They still need to love themselves and still need to live life the way they want to live their life. So they shouldn't let that obstacle stop them from doing the things that they really want to do. The three things I'd like society to know about psoriasis. Number one, it's not contagious. It is not contagious. No matter how close or how far away you are from me, but we're still sharing a room or sharing a chair, it's not contagious. It might look like chicken pox sometimes, but you're okay. It's not contagious. Second part is to those people who don't know about it or they have some sort of knowledge but are lacking anything or knowledge, on this type of skin problem, please try not to offend the particular individual. Maybe by approaching them and asking them what's wrong with them when you don't know this individual. For instance, going into hairdressers just to make an inquiry, and instead a question is answered by another question, which can be quite personal. Everyone has got different personalities, and some people are quite sensitive. So luckily, I wasn't in a sensitive state of mind at the time. I was okay and I was cool. But be mindful of that. It is a sensitive topic for some or for most. And thirdly, I would say to society is they need to be a little bit more accepting and not be too judgmental because, everyone is different. We're all different. We all have our own, ways of doing things as well. We're physically different, we're mentally different, and in most cases, we are physically different, like very visibly with our skin problems. So please just don't make us actually stand out. Treat us like any other person. So, yeah.